Hi everyone, I'm Kimia, an IELTS and English teacher, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about how you can plan studying for IELTS effectively so you can achieve the band score that you want in 2026. So as you all know, IELTS test is a difficult and academic one. So before you start studying for IELTS, you have to make sure whether this is something that you really need or not. And you can find out by checking out the websites of the universities or colleges that you're applying to. And that way you can make sure whether you need this test, and you can make sure what the band score that you want is. And after that, you have a clear goal and you know that how much time you can put into this and what is the band score that you really need to achieve. So after you have a clear goal and after you make sure whether this is something you really need or not, you have to make sure whether you're ready to start studying for IELTS or not. So in order to make sure of that, your level in English has to be at least upper intermediate. So if you are a basic English learner or your level is lower intermediate or intermediate, you still have to spend time improving your level in English before you get ready to start studying for IELTS. So how can you know what your level is? These are some websites that you can take the test in those websites to assess your level and to see that if you are ready to start studying for the test or not. But basically, if you are able to communicate in English, if you understand different podcasts or movies, or if you're able to understand an academic text that you read, it shows a sign that you are actually ready to start studying for IELTS. But these websites give you the exact level you're at. For example, if your level is A1 or A2, it means that you still need to work on your level before start studying for this test. If your level is B1 or B2, it means that you approximately need 6 to 9 months to get prepared, because at the same time that you are doing the test, you have to improve your English simultaneously. And if your level is C1, you need between 1 month to 3 months to prepare for the test, but the amount of time that you need depends on how well you study, it depends on the resources you use, your concentration, and it depends on your learning pace and how much effort you're willing to put into this. So after you figure out what your level is and after you know what your goal is and what the band score that you want is, now you're ready to start studying for the test. So before jumping to IELTS Cambridge series, book number 1 to 20, which contain the test that appeared on the real IELTS test before, it's better to use books like Collins series or websites such as miniielts.com to get familiar with the structure of the test and learn how the test format works. So after you finish doing the test of Collins series or doing the test in Mini IELTS website, now you're ready to do the test of Cambridge series, and it's better to start from book 13 to 20 because they are more updated. But if you need more tests, you can also take a look at the book number 1 to 12. But it's better to start from 13 and do the test until book 20. At the same time that you're doing the test from IELTS Cambridge books or Mini IELTS website, it's better to have some resources to improve your level in speaking, writing, listening, and reading as well. So for improving your level in reading, there are lots of websites that have different texts, academic texts that you can read daily to improve your level in reading. For example, National Geography website, Independent, Life Sciences, or neurosciencenews.com are great resources for improving your reading. And if you find them a little difficult or at first you find it hard to understand, it's better to start with some books that are a little easier. For example, Active series, you can start with book number 3 and 4, and then after you get used to the reading text, you can move on to these websites and start to read daily from those websites. For improving your listening, there are lots of resources. For example, YouTube videos or movies or shows can be your go-to, but if you want to focus on improving your listening specifically for the IELTS test and you want to get used to the British accent, BBC 6 Minutes would be a great resource. And each episode of this podcast is about 6 minutes, and then there are some channels that provide the transcripts of this podcast. So this is how you can practice listening with this podcast. At first, you can listen to them without taking a look at the transcripts, and then the second time you can listen to them while you're reading the transcripts, and then the third time it's better to listen to it again without looking at the transcript. And this is a great practice for improving your listening. Besides BBC 6 Minutes, there's another podcast named IELTSenergy.com. The hosts are former IELTS examiners, and in each episode they talk about one of the skills or different vocabulary that you can use in IELTS writing and speaking tests. For performing well at IELTS writing and speaking, it's better to know lots of phrases and lots of collocations. So for this, collocation series are great books for you. You can start with the intermediate one, and after you learn the collocations in the intermediate book, you can also use the advanced one. But for improving your listening, the intermediate book would be perfect and it would be suitable for you. For writing, there are two websites, Liz's website and IELTSessaybanks.com. And in these two websites, you can see lots of writing samples, and during the first few times that you're practicing, it's better to study those samples, and sometimes you can copy the idea or learn some vocabulary and sentence structures from them. And each time that you're reading those samples, it's better to practice writing one sample yourself. So through time, you tend to write essays that are like them. But it needs a lot of practice, and these two websites are great for improving your writing. For improving your speaking, there are two YouTube channels. One of them is IELTS Advantage, and you can start watching the mock speaking videos, and then IELTS Plus YouTube channel. So these two channels have videos of how to answer IELTS speaking questions, and then they also give feedback, so you can use them and get some ideas from them. Also, there's an application named IELTS Assistant application, and you can see all the newest or latest IELTS speaking questions plus the sample answers given to them. Of course, you don't need to copy those answers. It's always better to look at those answers as a resource to just get some ideas and learn some new vocabulary and sentence structures. And the answer should be your personal answer. So now that you know all the resources, how should you start planning your day or your week when you want to study for IELTS? So how you plan your day or week, it depends on your schedule. Maybe you work or maybe you don't work and you have free time every day. So you should consider that before you start planning your week. But the best way to plan your week is to choose 2 skills for every day. For example, one day it's better to work on speaking and reading, plus working on vocabulary and watching videos. And the next day it's better to work on writing and listening. Because speaking and writing are skills that when you're doing the test, you have to produce something. And that's why they may take a lot of energy from you. So it's better not to put them in the same day. And besides speaking, reading is the best option, and besides writing, it's also better to practice listening. So each day it's better to start studying for 2 skills, plus working on your vocabulary, studying collocations daily, watching videos, reading texts from different websites, and listening to podcasts. So it's better to listen to podcasts, read text, and work on collocations every day, but it's better not to practice all the skills every day because they're going to take a lot of time. For example, for getting ready for reading, during the first few times that you're practicing, it may take a lot of time from you. One reading text takes about an hour, but maybe the first few times you need 3 hours to finish it or 5 hours to work on your mistakes. So that's going to take a lot of time and energy from you. So it's not realistic to work on all the skills all at once in one single day. But it also depends on you. It depends on you whether you want to practice 2 hours a day or 6 hours a day. For some of you, you may need 2 to 4 hours a day, and some of you may need 6 to 8 hours a day to practice and start getting ready for the test. So it depends on you, and you have to see that how much time you need throughout the day to practice 1 or 2 skills every day, plus working on improving your general level in English. So when you're practicing these skills, you're more likely to need feedback on speaking and writing rather than reading and listening. But if you don't have access to an IELTS teacher, you can get help from lots of websites that are out there, lots of applications. For example, for practicing speaking, you can get help from PI application, which is designed to help English learners to improve their speaking. And also there is a website named Cato AI. And you can get help from this website to get feedback on your writing essays and your speaking. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video has been helpful for you. If you have any questions about improving your English or getting ready for IELTS, please ask that in the comments.